Hey guys, Kristin here, and I'm really excited to chat with you about sharing the business opportunity and welcoming new team members. So, what is really important when you're thinking about sharing the business opportunity is sharing from the heart. Like, why are you excited about the business? What has the business done for you? If you are not truly passionate and excited about the opportunity, then it's not going to come across that way in your parties and when you're chatting with people about the business opportunity. So, what I want you to think about as a great first step is, why am I excited about Pampered Chef? What has it done for my family? How has it blessed us? And then how can I share that passion in my parties? So you should be creating desire for the business opportunity in your parties, just like you're creating desire for the products and the hosting opportunity. And so what this looks like for me as a specific example is, at the beginning of the party, I build rapport. And so I really want to build the know, like, and trust factor with the guests in the parties. I want them to know me, I want them to like me, and I want them to trust me. And so I start out with that, with doing a post for virtual parties. It's all about me. Like, I share about my hobbies, I share about my family, I post a picture with me and my family. And so I just start to build that rapport and connection with people like the first day of the party. Later in the party, I share what Pampered Chef has done for me. So this is kind of like in the middle of the party. I don't wait until the end to do this because people kind of drop off towards the end. So I will share why I started with Pampered Chef originally, what Pampered Chef has done for my family, and I bullet it out, and then I share photos. So I made like a little photo collage, and each photo represents something that in my bullet. So paying off $20,000 in student loans, paying off our car, so we're completely debt-free except for our house, buying this house that we live in, qualifying 100% for it on Pampered Chef income. Like, I could go on and on and on of the things it has done for me. But if I'm sharing a multitude of things, then various people can relate to that. And so again, I'm building rapport, and people who have student loans and want to pay them off are going to relate to me. People who would love to pay off their car loans are going to relate. Like, all the things that you share of how it's impacted you or what you're looking forward to it doing for you is going to help you relate to other people in a way that is going to positively impact your ability to welcome new team members. And then that is kind of like the heart of the matter, right? Like, that's our story. That's us. That's like getting to know the person behind the face on Facebook. So the next piece I truly feel is kind of like the head. So the heart and the head. So the head is the money factor, because money talks, money has an impact, and people need that additional income in their life. So what I do for this part is I play a commission check game. And many of you have probably heard this. If you haven't, you should implement it right away because it's awesome. But basically, I let people guess how much they think I make. So it's just a little post, and I give them hints. Like, I lead them up to it. Like, I've been doing this for 4.5 years, and I was able to quit my full-time job just to do this because I was making enough money. I do like 6 to 10 virtual parties a week. Like, I try to like lead them up to it. So if you do this, and your check, is 500, 1,000, 2,000, whatever it might be, lead them up. Like, tell them maybe how many parties you do to make that, so they're not highballing or lowballing. Like, try and like guide them to where they might have reasonable guesses, right? And so if I were you, I would do a paycheck like of yours, if it's between 500, 1,000, 2,000, and then I would do a paycheck of someone who is making like career time money. So like, one of my highest paychecks was over $11,000, and that's career time money. Like, so show, maybe what you're making, and then show what could someone could be making as like high potential for them. Okay, so you do that. You let them guess what they think the paychecks, or excuse me, the commission checks are. And don't call it paychecks. We're not supposed to say paychecks because it's commission checks. We're not like employees, we're independent contractors. So just something that I'm working on is commission check. So anyways, you do that, they guess, and then you reveal the answer, like 24 hours later or something. So give people time to guess. And now you go ahead and post a Q&A. So this is where people can ask any question about the business for 5 or 10 bonus raffle tickets. And this just gives them the opportunity to start asking questions now that you've piqued their interest. And maybe some people are just asking questions just to get extra tickets, and that's okay. But what I do is anyone who asks questions, whether they just want tickets or not, like, I don't know. So I message every single one of them like a day later. I don't do it right away because that's stalkerish, right? So I do it a day later, and I'll say something like, hey, you had a great question about the business and Susie's Pampered Chef Party. Have you ever thought about doing something like Pampered Chef before? And it's just an opportunity to like open the door to conversation, guys. And it's simple. It's like those 2 to 3 sentences, and you end with a question. And that is how you can start conversations with guests in your parties. And the other piece that is really important is to message all your party rock stars. So you probably heard this, or you probably heard the term like red flags, like you're looking for red flags, which I don't really like that term just because it just sounds bad in my head. But so rock stars, you're looking for party rock stars, and those are people who have commented on literally almost everything. Maybe they're sharing recipes, they're sharing their favorite products. Like, those are your rock stars, and you want to message them as well. And so I will message them, and I will say something like, hey, you were such a party rock star in Susie's Pampered Chef Party. Have you ever thought about doing something like Pampered Chef before? Because I feel like you would be great at it. So you're complimenting them, and then you're asking them to see if the door opens. So think about the business opportunity as a closed door. And by you offering, by you asking, by you sending a message, you're just like kind of trying to open the door a little bit to see if they open the door further. So the opportunity is on the other side of the doors. And if you don't even message or ask, like, the door is going to be closed all the time. But by you opening the door a little and asking, they can, like, depending on what they say, the door can open further or it doesn't, like, but there's no harm. So just ask, okay? So that's how you can find leads. I should go back. That's how you can create desire for the business in your parties. And then B, how you can find guest leads in your party. So you should have at least 1 or 2 people on your asking questions on your Q&A if you're host coaching to get the people in your parties. And then you should also be having 1 or 2 party rock stars every party. So you're messaging 4 to 7 people, or if not more, about the business opportunity. And if that doesn't go anywhere, ask for the booking, right? Like, usually when someone says no to something up front, like, they'll generally say yes to something that you ask later because, or, something you ask following that because they maybe feel bad that they already said no to something. So you could still potentially get a booking from it. So it's great conversation to just open the door with. So the other thing is thinking about your host. So how can you chat with your host about the business opportunity, or just bring it up in conversation? And I think it's so important that we're asking every host at least 4 to 5 times. And I will tell you, I recruited over 50 people last year, and 85% of them, maybe 90%, said no the first and maybe second time that I asked them. And it's not that, like, I'm pushing them to sign up with me. It's just that I genuinely care about them. I genuinely want to get to know them. And then once I do, I feel like I can offer it a second, third, and fourth, and fifth time, genuinely from the heart. So the first time I offer it to my host is a week before her party and her host coaching. And I basically say, I don't know if you knew, but one of the host rewards is a $25 or a $50 coupon off of any of our starter consultant kits. Have you ever thought about doing something like Pampered Chef before? So that's the first time I offer it. And then the second time is in the middle of their party. Things are usually going well, or I find something that's going well, like if they're following all my tips or if people are engaging, I will say, hey, you've been such an awesome host in their party. You're doing all these things. Have you thought much more about the idea of doing paper chef? Because I feel like you'd be great at it. And then the third time is usually towards the end of the party. Hopefully by then I've gotten bookings for them or a kit coupon. So I work really hard to get either bookings or the kit coupon, because then I can offer it to them and I can say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. You just earned the kit coupon, or oh my gosh, we already have 2 people that want to book parties. That's so great. Like, have you seen the new consultant kits? You could get $25 off. Or I'd totally love to give you these bookings to help you start your business. Have you seen the starter kits? So that's kind of a great segue. The fourth time is usually as we're closing up the party. And oftentimes, actually, like on that third time, we're striking up conversation about the business because now their interest is piqued. They want to maybe check out the kits. But that fourth time, if it's been a no all along, that fourth time is right before I'm closing up their party. And I will just say, hey, are you sure you don't want to take advantage of this kit coupon that you have available? Or are you sure you don't want to take advantage of these bookings before I close your party? And then the fifth time is often for me after the party closes. So oftentimes I'll book more parties after the party closes. And when I do, I can go back to the host and say, oh my gosh, Susie just booked a party. And the great thing is that I'm totally willing to still give you these bookings if you want to do something like paper chat. So that's like the fifth time. And then generally that's it after that, right? So the next step is really that one-on-one conversation that you're having with people. And it is so important, you guys, that you make that conversation all about them. So the party itself is where you talk about you from like your story standpoint. Then once you're in that one-on-one conversation, like you should not be referencing yourself. It is all about them. So for example, if you're talking with someone and they say like, I just don't have enough time, like I don't think I could fit it in. Some people might say, oh, I can totally relate to that. Like I was really busy too. And I worked like 60 hours a week and I was just so busy. And see how many times I said you don't want to talk about yourself at all in these one-on-one conversations. And you don't want to word vomit either, because that is not great either. You want to give them the information they need in as short and succinct of responses as you can. So generally, when I'm talking with someone, they will give me a concern, and then my follow-up is 3 parts. So the first sentence, I validate their concern, and that might be like, I understand what you mean, or that's a valid concern, or I totally get that. The second sentence is going to be a solution to their concern. So if they say, I just don't have time, that's a concern or an objection. Now I'm offering a solution for my second sentence of their response. And so that would be something like, I totally get that. That's a valid concern. The great thing about Pampered Chef is you can do as little or as much as you'd like, and it comes right alongside everything you have going on in life. It is super flexible. Okay, that was sentence number 2. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 sentences, but it's short. And then the third piece is a follow-up question. You always end with a follow-up question. And so my question might be, if you had an extra $200 to $600 a month, what would you do with it? Anything fun? Like, I want to get to know them, and I want to know, like, how could this impact their life? So that's why I ask, what would you do with the extra income? And those kinds of things. So I could talk about this for so long, you guys, because I'm so passionate about it. And I really feel like there is skill that everyone can learn when it comes to the one-on-one conversation. There's different aspects of it. But the best thing that you can do as you're trying to build your team is don't do it alone. Reach out to your director and send them screenshots of these conversations you're having. If you can get the leads and you open that door, remember, you open that door to the conversation, send the screenshots to your director, and they will help you. I'm sure they'll give you the words to say. I'm sure they want to be there to walk you through it. And we love getting screenshots of these things because it just shows that you're engaging in the conversation and you're genuinely offering the opportunity because you want to bless other people's life with it. So I hope that gives you some tips that you can take home and put into use. And definitely reach out to your director and don't be afraid to ask for help, because that is when you'll have the most success, is when you're learning by observing and letting them help you. All right, thanks guys.